a great scene. This is the biggest explosion ever done for a film. But have you ever wondered about the environmental impact of such a scene? After all, it used 8,140 liters of kerosene. That's 31.6 tons of CO2. That's the same amount of CO2 emitted by 7 cars driving constantly for a whole year, or by the energy usage of 6 households for a whole year, or by charging 3,943,908 phones, or by using 73. But that's just one scene. Not even a scene, just one special effect. But what about the movie? What about all the movies? Well, how much CO2 does the film industry actually emit? Well, actually, we don't know. Okay. It's not that simple. But the fact is that big Hollywood studios really don't want you to know about their climate impact. The only wide-ranging study about this subject matter is a UCLA study from the year 2006. In 2020, however, the BFI published the Green New Deal. It's the best study that got published on this subject matter since that original UCLA study. However, it has a lot of flaws. For one, all the gathered data from the study has been made anonymous. So this makes it impossible to call out individual companies. Second, the study only looked at the production side of films, completely ignoring the distribution. And third, only 2 studios and only films that cost over $70 million were looked at for this study. So the data comes from only 19 films. But we do learn a few things. According to the study, those big blockbusters generate on average 44,000 tons of waste and emit 2,840 tons of CO2. It's the same amount of CO2 emitted by 612 cars driving for a whole year, or by the energy usage of 553 households for a whole year, or by charging 345 million 400. Now, that's not good, but there has been some change recently. On the production of Nope, for example, the filmmakers tried to avoid diesel generators, so they tried to use, wherever possible, grid electricity. When not possible, they used renewable diesel, which is still bad, but better than normal diesel. Other efforts to reduce the film's environmental impact included using LED lights, recycling on set, or donating excess catering. Interestingly, around 50% of a film's emissions come from transport. So by improving various technologies around film, like CGI or virtual sets, it is getting easier and easier to avoid the need of traveling far. So, films emit CO2. Lots of it. That's why here's what's happening in the film industry and how you can help. Stop making films. Okay, maybe not. Of course you can and should be mindful of the environment when making films, but your 10-minute no-budget short film will have a different environmental impact than a 2-hour film that costs several $1 million. So, there's nothing you can do about it. For now. Because your films will get increasingly bigger and will emit more and more CO2. There's nothing you can do about that. But, and I'm especially talking to all the future producers here, you can have an impact on how much CO2 they emit. And the less that is, the better.